the chairman of the think tank Geocase. He joins us from the Georgian capital right now, Tbilisi. Victor, good to have you. So help us game this out. From your point of view, what we've been seeing in the Donbass is kind of old school fighting. It seems like Russia is unwilling to do the street to street fighting that we saw elsewhere. But now these newer, more powerful weapons are going to come into Ukraine from the United States, from Germany. Do you see this as possibly turning the tide for Ukraine?
Well, actually, it's not about Donbass only. It's about the entire war in Ukraine, which is a completely different type of crisis, which different from what we've seen since the end of the Second World War. And the difference is reflected not just in the scale of the war itself, but in the type of sort of the different animal which Russian Federation presents from the military standpoint and from economic standpoint. And if you look at the West position, which is quite peculiar, I would say, very diplomatically and very softly. And by saying peculiarity, you notice we all see that the West is not directly engaged into the war, but it's a full-scale proxy war, with the only exception that the West does not have boots on the ground. So from the Western perspective, it's not about engaging into the war directly, but it's about managing the war actions. It's about managing the crisis. And when I'm saying managing the crisis, it's really a very peculiar point and very precarious point. What is that point of no return when managing the crisis could or would transform into a full-scale clash between the United States or the West on one side and the Russian Federation on the other side? So supply of the modern weaponry. And we had various statements by the Russian Federation that could signal that point of no return. How manageable that crisis would be after those weapons were supplied to Ukraine. How the West would be able to keep the crisis under the control, not to let it spiral out. That would be the biggest headache and the biggest challenge which we all would be facing. Just Ukraine only. All the countries in the region and in the broader region, after those weaponries would be on the ground and be in the hands of Ukraine.
All right, Victor, I'm not sure if your signal is going to hold out. In case it does,